Hello everybody, today I'm going to show you how to make a basic Bukkit server. This won't have any plugins on it or anything like that, but I've been asked how to do this many times, so I thought I'd go ahead and just make a video to relieve any confusion that was left. So, of course, the first thing we're going to have to do is download Bukkit, and we're going to do that by going to dl.bukkit.jar. You can see it right there. So just go ahead and go there, and you'll be at this screen here. This is their new download page, and you'll see this big green button here. This is for their latest recommended build, but at the making of this video, they only have the 1.1 release 6 build out, which obviously this won't work with the current version, which is 1.2.3 currently. So the way we're going to get around that is just by clicking this little alternate versions button down here. So if we click that, we should get, there we go, a list of every development build out with build number and everything. On the right hand side here we have the big green button again with the 1.1 recommended build, but obviously we're not going to use this because it won't work. The yellow button, which is the beta build for 1.2.3, which we will be using because I recommend this more than I do the development build, which should really only be used if you really need it. For running a server that's mainly just used for developing plugins to see if they will work. So let's go ahead and click the yellow beta button, or if you watch this after 1.2.3 is the recommended build or any later version, just go ahead and click the green one. So let's click the beta build. It'll ask us if we want to open or save. We'll just click save. Alright, and I already have it set to download to the server directory automatically. Alright, so there we go, it's downloaded. Alright, so now we're going to have to make a script to start the server. You can see it says our server directory is empty. I believe it is because there we go, it is done checking the file. Alright, there it is. So we're going to have to make a new script, and the way we're going to do that is just by going to start in the notepad. Alright, so at the notepad screen we're just going to type a small bit of code for a batch file to start the server. The code will be in the description, of course. So what we're going to type is java-jar xms and then how much space on your memory you want to give the server. I usually just do 1024. So what we're going to do for that, and it's in megabytes of course, so just do 1024 for 1 gigabyte of RAM, and then capital M, and then space dash xmx 1024 capital M. And then next we're just going to type without a dash the name of the jar file, which I'm just going to say is craftbukkit.jar, and of course you may have noticed that our jar isn't craftbukkit.jar, but we're just going to rename it to that after we're done. So just hit enter and then type in all caps pause, and what this is going to allow us to do is have it prompt us to push any key if we want to exit the prompt in case we want to look back at the console before we actually exit the window. So let's go to file and then save it in our server directory. Go ahead and click all files and save it as anything you want to call it, as long as it has .bat at the end. So I'll just name mine start.bat. Alright, save that, and you can see there's a batch file that's now in our server directory. So we're just going to go ahead and click that. Whoops, sorry, remember to rename this, of course, unless you want to edit your batch file to whatever the current file name is, but that file name will change every time you download a new version of Bukkit. So now it should load. There we go. We get a few errors just because it hasn't found the files and is generating them. And at this time it will also generate all the world's spawn area and everything in game pretty much. So this shouldn't take too awful long. Just I'd say at most a minute depending on your specs, but there we go. It just took about 10 or 15 seconds for me. So just go ahead and type stop and then press enter, and it will stop the server. And about that, always use that stop command to stop your server. Don't ever just click the little close button, because you could corrupt your worlds or anything else that was being processed at that time. And I've actually done that before, and it's not very fun. So you'll get this prompt. This is what that pause was doing, saying press any key to continue. So that's what we'll do to close it, and you can see it's generated all these different files. If you want to have a whitelist, you'll see here in a second. Let's go ahead and edit the server.properties file, and then let's bring that to the side. Alright, here we go. So we have all these different options. I'll show you in a second how to do that whitelist. It's actually in here. So allow nether if you want the nether turned on. Level name, this is the name of the directory of the world. So obviously it couldn't be named plugins because there's a plugins folder. But this will be the world people spawn in case you downloaded a world or anything else like that. Enable query, not quite sure what that does. I'm pretty sure that will let outside services come into your server and just check who's on and all that. Allow fly if you want to allow people to fly. Server port, just the port your server runs on. Level type, default I believe is just like normal grass, dirt, trees, and all that. I'm not sure what this Archon is. You can probably look that up on the Minecraft wiki. Pretty much anything that you don't know is pretty much on there. Though it may not be, so don't take my word for it. Oops. Let's go ahead and replace that. Here, we'll just do Control Z. Alright. Anyway, level seed, if you have a seed that you'd like to use for your server, just go ahead and enter that here and make sure that these directories up here don't exist. That way it will actually use that seed. Server IP, alright, so we're going to type in our local IP address for the server here. So the way we're going to do that is if you're on Windows 7 or Vista, you can just click start and type CMD right here and press enter to bring the command prompt, or if you're running earlier versions, you can go to all programs, accessories, and run. And then of course we'll just type in CMD like we would before. Alright, and we get the command prompt. So now we're going to type in IP config. Config. Alright, and here we're going to look for the connection we use for our internet. I use my wireless connection, so we see wireless LAN adapter. And we're going to find the IPv4 address, which for me is 192.168.2.13. Of course, this will be different for everyone else, or it could be the same, but it's not likely that it is. So there we go. Just type that in right there. Maximum build height, just how far people can build. I'm not sure if you can make it greater than this. I haven't tried that, but of course, like I said, you can probably look that up, or you can just try it yourself and see if it works or not. Spawn NPCs, just if you want the little computer players on your server, set that to true. Whitelist, alright, here's that whitelist option. If we set that to true, we will actually open up this whitelist.txt file and enter on each line each player that we want whitelisted. Oops. So let's go back to here. Spawn animals, this is if you want pigs, cows, pretty much anything that doesn't try to kill you. Online mode, this will go to Mojang server and check to see that they are a premium player and not just a hack client. So if you want to accept hacked clients, you can set that to false. Though I wouldn't recommend it because many griefers came on my server last time I tried that, and it wasn't very pleasant. But that's not to say that true can't be hacked. I mean, it can. That's happened to me also, but not nearly as much as it did before. So PvP, of course, is just whether or not you want people to be able to hit each other and deal damage. Difficulty, that should be self-explanatory. Game mode, this is 0 for survival and 1 for creative. Maximum players, however many players you want to be able to be connected at the same time. And spawn monsters, this is just if you want pretty much the bad guys, the things that will try to kill you if you want them to spawn. generate structures. This is like the buildings that NPCs build. If you want those on, keep that as true. If you don't, set that to false. I'm not quite sure what view distance is. I haven't looked that up before, but like I said, just Google it or something if you really want to know. And this MOTD stands for Message of the Day. If you play a lot of games, you should know that actually. You can change this to anything you want. I usually set it to my server title, and what that will do is change the text that appears below whatever they called the server if they save the server. Alright, so let's go ahead and save that, because really the only thing I needed to edit was this IP. Right, and there we go. We can start the server, and you should be able to connect to that IP we got before, that local IP, that 192.168.whatever for you. But if you want to make a public server, I'll show you how to do that, or make a server for people that aren't on your network. Maybe not necessarily public, but just people at a different house. For that, I'd recommend whitelisting. But the way we're going to do that is we are going to go to, I use the site cmyip.com, and this will show us our IP right here. And pretty much we're going to take this number, and they can either enter that, or you can use a DNS service. I would recommend no IP, which just go to no-ip.com, and you'll get this, and you can make an account and sign up, and pretty much just look on their website how to do that. I won't go into too much detail about that. There are different services such as Dyn DNS that will do that for you as well. So anyway, but besides that, what you'll have to do to let people connect from outside your network, if you haven't done it already, is port forward. Now this is going to vary from router to router. I'll show you pretty much the generic way to do it. This pretty much works for almost all routers. It may not for yours. So what we're going to do is we're going to open a new command prompt. And again, just type in ipconfig. But this time, look for your internet connection again. But this time we're going to look for the default gateway. And so there's mine right here. Mine's actually this 192.168.2.1. It's not this one here. You probably won't have this second one. That's probably just another program that's running that's doing that. So we're going to take that 192.168.whatever it is for you and type that into your internet browser. Alright, and for mine it will ask me for a username and password. You can usually find on the internet, like Google your router model, which you can see mine right there, Netgear, and then WNR1000v3 is my model. Just Google that and you can probably find the default password if you don't know it. So I'll go ahead and type my username and password for my router, and I'll get the configuration screen. So on the side here, or wherever your menus are, you're going to try to find something that that says port forwarding, or on my old router it said virtual servers. So whatever it says for you. Alright, so here's mine right here. Just click that and you'll get up to a list that looks something like this. So what you're going to do is click Add Custom Service, and you're going to name it whatever. Yours may not even have an option to name it, but you can name it whatever you want. Keep this as TCP /UDP, or if it only gives you these two, keep it as TCP. And then, of course, whatever port you have your server on, which the default is 25565. If you have MineQuery, you're going to do one for the ending port. You want to have 25566. But if you don't have it, which many servers won't, just do 25565 again. And lastly, this is your last step for making it public. In here, you want to enter that IP for the server. So mine was at 2.13, so we'll just type that in there and click save or apply or whatever yours says. I'm not going to do it because it'll actually probably give me an error, because I already have a port forwarding set up for this computer. So once you do that and save your changes, people should be able to connect. You can, if you're on that local network, you should be able to always connect through 192.168. Whatever yours was. Or if you used a DNS service, you can probably just type that in. If you set it on a different port than the default, colon, whatever the port is after that DNS host name. So that's pretty much all you have to do. If you have any questions, go ahead and post a comment. And thank you for watching, and please subscribe. It'll help a lot and really give me motivation to make videos in the future. Not that I won't make any more in the future, but you know, it's always nice to have people watching. So thank you, and I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please subscribe and check out these videos on your screen. I hope to see you all here next time on iTechRemix.